Good evening
Hello,
or
I'm
morning.
Leah,
I'm Steve,
and we are Frugal Vagabond,
Third Rock Vagabond.
and we are on the Royal Caribbean Ultimate World Cruise, 9 months
That we are.
long. So today we were in Split, Croatia,
Very beautiful town.
and we were just talking about this before we went live. We feel kind of redundant when we keep saying, "Oh my gosh, it was so beautiful, it was so amazing," and even though it's really repetitive, it's also incredibly true.
Yeah, there's so many places that are amazing around the world that I'm getting to see for the first time. It's my first trip to Europe, so any of the countries we hit, it's brand new territory for me, and that's what's so amazing. I love seeing the old architecture, the old Roman ruins, and everything up through the years, up into the modern stuff.
And when you're going by cruise ship, you're seeing the ocean, you're seeing the coastline, which
Hmm.
is notoriously for most countries the prettiest
Beautiful.
area. Not
Yeah.
necessarily the port areas because
No, some
some
are working ports that we go into,
right,
which unfortunately,
but when they're developed at all, the resorts and they're kind of built around tourism. So
yeah,
we get to
yeah,
see the prettiest parts of all of the countries, and it
that's true.
never ceases to be amazing.
So,
Where did we go today?
we walked around the old town of Split,
Hmm.
and it was within the fortress walls. That was, I can't remember when it was built, 16th century,
I think it was before that,
before that.
maybe.
Uh,
Anyway,
it was, it was truly amazing what they did back then, how they built the structures, and
started as a Roman emperor's palace, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And we also saw um, Jupiter's temple.
hmm we did.
Um,
And we saw John the Baptist baptismal,
yep.
and so yeah, they do it use it for baptisms and also coronations.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
kind of interesting.
that was she kind of just threw that in at the
Yeah,
end too, as we were
yeah.
leaving. Oh yeah, by the way, they used to do coronate
Mhm.
kings and yeah.
And now that we're in Europe, what I found really interesting is I'm starting to see templar crosses carved into a lot of the older buildings. That part fascinates me.
He's yeah.
I start looking for them on all the stones around the doorways and things. You'll see them
He
there.
noticed that a couple of stops ago, and now he's looking for them and taking
Yeah,
thousands of
it's
pictures.
that's the new interest in the churches these days. I was getting kind of tired of churches.
So the one really cool thing, though, about some of the places we visited, especially the Emperor's Palace,
Hmm.
had this big subterranean area that they
Huge basement.
use for storage
Yeah,
at some points and other things at different points. But
right.
anyway, an area that had been cleaned out, restored, and it's
Mhm.
also one of the places where they shot the dragon scenes for
Oh,
Game of Thrones.
yes, yes. They she showed us our tour guide showed us at the end where they had the stairs built, and they would come down into the dragon's dungeon, Dragon's Keep,
Yeah.
and it was really neat. That once she made that comment, I could see it.
Yeah.
Of course, they use a lot of the CGI to change it up a little
Sure.
bit, but it was really, really neat being able to make that connection.
And we saw there was one business. Well, there was a Game of Thrones museum in
Yes.
part of our tour. We didn't stop there;
Yes.
we just
No.
walked by. And another place where they had an example of the Iron Throne where you could have your picture taken.
Yes.
We did not do that either.
No. No, we
we
didn't.
so we could see the throne through the glass, and it didn't look quite like it did in
Well,
the show. So,
it's not going to. It was,
but
but it was neat. It was
we
neat.
ran into some friends when we were walking around today, and they said,
Hmm.
so tomorrow we're going to be in Dubrovnik, and they have a Game of Thrones walking tour scheduled there tomorrow. So I'm assuming they're doing that or the reason why there's a walking tour
Hmm.
scheduled there is because they shot a lot of the scenes there. And I think in Split, a lot of the passageways, alleyways are very
Hmm.
narrow, and I'm I'm pretty sure that they filmed more stuff other than just the dragon scenes in that
Yeah.
keep there.
Yeah.
Just because the architecture just completely around the old town is perfectly suited for that kind of stuff.
And from what I've heard in Dubrovnik, That's one of the alleys, long streets, is where they filmed the Walk of Shame for Cersei.
Yes. I will.
I've heard it. I've never.
We'll find out
One of
tomorrow.
our friends on the cruise had mentioned it. So, and he said he was going to do it. But I'm not sure, and I'm not sure I want to do it either because you walk, very very skimpily dressed. I would think, and they're still yelling and
Pretty,
throwing stuff at you.
pretty
You
sure
know.
she was naked.
Well, she was,
Yeah.
yes, but
Anyway, we're not doing that
no,
either.
no. But I don't want people throwing food and rotten fruit and all
Don't-
that at it.
I don't think that's
it.
part of the experience. I don't know. I guess some people would pay for that. Anyway,
There are fetishes, yes.
so what's the other exciting thing about tomorrow?
I was in contact with one of my high school friends, and when I mentioned where I was, he said his stepdaughter was in the next town over. And so we've made contact, and we're going to have lunch with him. So
Yeah.
that's kind of neat.
Meeting up with family friends on the
Yeah.
opposite side of the planet
Yep.
is always cool.
Yep.
So that's our big plan for tomorrow.
Yes, it is. Looking forward to it.
Yep. I started working on the Slovenia Castle and Caves video today, and it'll probably take me a couple of days to finish that because I have not just my footage, but Steve's footage
From a different castle.
from Tree Stay at the castle there. So
Yeah.
lots of stuff to incorporate. Thank you guys for watching.
Thanks. See y'all later.
See you tomorrow.
Happy travels.